What time is it, you say? It's time for another Bible review. Wow, that was much cheesier than I thought it was going to be. Today we are looking at the Fire Bible, released by Hendrickson Bibles. Here it is. Basically, this is a study Bible that was compiled almost entirely by a kind of Pentecostal pastor called Donald Stamps. He actually died, I think, in the early 1990s and never quite got to complete his study notes. They were almost done, and so a group of other pastors kind of finished them off and added some different bits to it as well. But this is pretty much the work of one man. So in that sense, an incredible legacy of the preaching and teaching of this guy, Donald Stamps. Obviously, from one person, one perspective means that you're not going to get as such a kind of a rounded perspective. This is one man's understanding of Scripture, and the guy seems to be very, very learned. The notes in here are very impressive, and obviously from a Pentecostal charismatic background, so that will be reflected very much in the articles. Let's have a quick look then. You can get the Fire Bible in a number of different translations. I think you can get the NIV and the New King James, and this one is the ESV, which is a great translation. I think for me, if only it dropped some of the stilted sentence structure, it would be my primary Bible. It's the church, it's the Bible that my church uses, and I've got a copy and use it fairly often. But a great faithful translation that lots of people are very fond of today. So we begin with a presentation page. I've got a couple of intro pages. I think this is really useful. It says that this is a study Bible for Spirit-led living. That will really, it does exactly what it says on the tin. That is very true. If that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a more in-depth, systematic going through of the Scriptures, then this maybe wouldn't be the study Bible for you. Not to say that it is light on theology or doctrine. I think it has lots of good doctrinal truths, but this is really more about Scripture, applying it to your life and seeing the Spirit work through you, and that really is shown in this key that is early on. So you have a plan of salvation and different things like that, but where is probably should have prepared this, shouldn't I? There you go. So this is the theme finders, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, that sounds like a good biblical number. You've got these 12 themes that are found throughout the Scriptures, and basically, you can zoom in and pause on those if you want. But as you go through the Scriptures, you will find those little symbols next to certain bits. So here we are. We've opened up on Chronicles. And there you've got the little musical note, and so then if you go back and find the musical note, that is talking about praise. And so again, any of these, let's find another one there in Ezekiel chapter 3. You've got the little cross, and as you just go through various different points, you've got the hand symbol. What was the hand symbol for? The hand symbol was for healing. So it's these 12 themes that are throughout the Bible, and every time that Donald Stamps feels like that is under one of these headings, he puts that little symbol next to it. That's really useful and a great way of seeing what he sees as the major themes in the Bible. Now, would you agree that those are the 12 main themes? Maybe not. But again, from a charismatic Pentecostal background, I think it would be fair to say they are 12 very important themes. So that's great. Not only do you have these themes, but also you have the notes on the verses at the bottom. There's not a great differentiation. Is that the right word? There's not a lot of difference apart from this little line across the bottom. You've got some study Bibles that have that bit kind of shaded or in a completely different font, and I think it is a slightly smaller size, but it's not massively different from the rest of the Scripture. In terms of the layout, what I really like about this Bible is this is a really generous font size for a study Bible. I would guesstimate, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at all the specifics, but I think that is at least a 10, if not 10.5 font. That's very generous for a study Bible, and the notes maybe a 8.5. So that's great, and the font I think is very kind on the eyes. It's very easy to read good chunks of it. But apart from that though, this Bible, I have to say, has a feeling of, I think because it's the paperback version, it doesn't have a feel of quality as some of the other study Bibles that I've already reviewed. You can see here on the spine, I don't know if you see that, but I got a smudge on day one, and it has bugged me ever since. I just can't seem to get it off. There is no gilding on here, so it's not going to hide anything. There's like a pen mark there as well. So this is going to get really mucky really quickly. You can see a bit of scuff mark there as well. So it's, again, as with pretty much all the study Bibles, this is a chunky book. You know, I took this to church and felt very self-conscious that it was just huge. And unless you're going to use it as a doorstop, you probably want to keep this Bible at home. But the feel of it, although I like the design on the front, I think that's really nice. I think maybe a hardback or even something in a fake leather, or you know the way it goes. There's probably lots of other versions out there. This Bible cost me only £21, so considering that price, you are getting a fairly decent and fairly quality Bible. So as I've said, Donald Stance was from a charismatic and Pentecostal background, and I think some of the areas that you would see difference of theology than maybe some other general study Bibles, things like the Zondervan study Bible for the New International Version, or the New Living Study Bible, is that they are generally more conservative evangelical, leaning towards more of a reformed Calvinistic understanding on some things. They do give different perspectives, but it's a little bit more leaning that side. With this study Bible, it is very much from a classical Arminian standpoint. So that means you are going to see that represented in Ephesians 1 and Romans 8 and Romans 9 and a whole load of places. There are articles here about predestination and election very much from a kind of conditional standpoint. You're going to see kind of security, once saved always saved, would be something that he would not agree with, and so again salvation is conditional, and perseverance will lead to salvation. And so if that's not where you're at, this might not be the study Bible for you, but then maybe it is. I think it's good to read from different perspectives and learn how people would how they would understand different passages. It is good for that. So this is a cheap, it's affordable. It is a lot of notes and a lot of good content for not a lot of money, but it does come from a specific theological slant, and I think the quality of it isn't super great. But then again, I guess you're not going to be taking this with you everywhere, but I'd maybe like a better build quality. Apart from that, I don't know what else to say. Apart from, if you would like to win this Bible, we are giving this away. Do look at the description of this video, and you will find the information of how you can win this very Bible, marks and tattered as it is. So do check that out. Thanks.